My clients blast their Meno bellies and boost their longevity by eating these 11 different vitamins every single day. My guy takes whole food, plant-based, vegan nutrition and merges it with the boxes that you need to hit to optimize fat loss in menopause. My menopause nutrition guide for vegans was developed by my team and myself based on the protocols from the Menopause Society and the latest nutrition science, and merging the experience from our 2,000 clients over the last half decade of my program. So before I go into the 11 vitamins that you need to be taking, I want to give you a little background of the science. So women's bodies change significantly throughout the menopause transition. Our fat literally merges into our deep abdominal tissue, which is visceral fat. And that is driven by our little hormone called estrogen. Estrogen is like, think of it being like a project manager for your body. When your estrogen is in place, your fat is going to the right areas. It's not going in your stomach. You're able to preserve your lean muscle mass. You don't get cravings. You're able to sleep. You don't have that menopause rage that you have now. Estrogen literally controls so much. Now, one day, when you lose your period for the last 12 months consecutively, estrogen is like, I'm out. 1 day notice, doesn't even give you 2-day notice. And now your body is chaos, total chaos. So what you have to do as the CEO is you have to step in and take over estrogen's role as project manager. But you need to develop a whole new approach. You need to weight train. You need to reduce your cortisol because inflammation goes up when estrogen leaves. And you need to have a whole new way of eating. And that last piece is what we're going to focus on now. Visceral fat cannot be taken off just by eating a whole food plant-based diet alone. So starting with the first vitamin, that is protein. Now, before you shut this video off, I told you to strap in, buckle up. Protein is coming from plants. And I'm not talking about protein powders or protein bars. I'm talking about whole grains, beans and legumes, nuts and seeds. Hit subscribe to my channel because my next video is going to be exactly how to get your protein in without powders and bars. But right now I'm explaining just the benefits of it. There was a study that showed women who are eating higher protein diets had less lean muscle loss. And we do not want to lose muscle in menopause. We want to keep our muscles on. That's going to help prevent us from breaking bones when we fall. And a lot of women that come in to work with us having a starch solution background, they feel like there's just something missing, like they're looking for something after every meal, and that ends up exalting their cravings, right? Where they're eating lots of chocolate and things like that. But when you have that protein in, you're gonna feel right away how much more energized and how quick your brain is gonna start firing. So menopausal women should start out around 70 grams of protein per day. Now, like I said, subscribe to this channel. I'm gonna be putting out videos about specifically protein nuances, but if you are weight training, you might want to bump that up a little bit. And if you are over 60, you definitely want to bump that up. My clients' favorite sources of protein is soy, edamame beans, or tofu because those are shown to decrease your intensity and recurrence of hot flashes. Next one up is iron. Iron deficiency is so common. It's especially common in menopausal women, not just because of the normal low bioavailability of the plant-based iron, but because of this little hormone called hepcidin. Hepcidin is a hormone that regulates how our body absorbs and metabolizes iron, and hepcidin rises in menopause because estrogen decreases, causing inflammation to rise. So more inflammation, more hepcidin, and that actually decreases our iron absorption. So even though you're not losing your blood from a period that requires you to have more iron, menopausal women definitely need to pay attention to this. Now, two types of iron: heme iron, which is associated with higher mortality rates, and then the non-heme iron from plants that is associated with lower mortality. And before you start saying, well, I am hearing carnivore Chris on Instagram saying that the plant iron isn't bioavailable, just have some vitamin C with your plant-based iron sources to increase that absorption rate. The best sources of iron include quinoa, soy, white beans, chia seeds, and bok choy and spinach. And then just add vitamin C coming from orange, lemon, red bell pepper, strawberries to your meal, and decrease your coffee and tea when you have your iron sources to boost that bioavailability. And you can screenshot right here for a full day of eating of iron that actually results in the RDA for pregnant women, which is more. Next, vitamin up is zinc. Zinc is actually really important for hormonal regulation, and some studies also show that zinc can help the adrenal glands. But the most important thing for zinc, in my opinion, is the immune benefits, because when we lose estrogen, we can also lose some of our immunity. And zinc is a really powerful immune booster, and it also decreases inflammation, which, as we know, already rises in menopause. And then it's also going to help support bone strength and bone formation, which we all know is very, very important in menopause. Recommended target is 11 milligrams. There isn't a single food like how Brazil nuts are selenium rich that will give you all of your zinc for the day, but what you can do is just have a very diverse whole food, plant-based, vegan diet to hit your zinc requirements. So having things like whole grains, beans and legumes, nuts and seeds throughout the day will really boost that level. And fun fact, if you add an onion or a clove of garlic to your zinc-rich meal, kind of like the vitamin C for iron, that is going to boost the absorption of your zinc. Next one up is vitamin K2. So as we all know, when we go through menopause, our rate of bone loss increases, our bone strength decreases. And that's all because of our estrogen levels dropping. Now, vitamin K2 helps activate something called osteoclastin, helps bind our calcium to our bones. We don't have enough vitamin K2, calcium can end up in the wrong places, which can be dangerous. K2 is also really great for heart health. As we know, in the menopause transition, risk of cardiovascular disease in women goes up, and vitamin K2 activates this protein which prevents our calcium to build up in our arteries, which is a risk factor. And as we all know, vitamin D helps our bones, and K2 actually directs vitamin D to make sure it goes to the right places. So it's very, very important. There's two types of it, MK7 and MK4. So the highest source is kimchi and sauerkraut. Oh my gosh. I just had a flashback to when I first had kimchi. I had just like half a jar of it. And when I tell you, it went right through me for days. It went right through me for days. But the good news is that you only need a few forkfuls of these fermented foods for them to do the trick. Dr. Bolshwitz says having fermented foods every single day helps drastically with the gut health. And gut health is something that actually decreases as we get into our 40s. Our good bacteria aren't as proliferatory. So it's very important to take care of your gut health and have as many different types of plants throughout your week as possible. Just want to give you, all the information. Next up is iodine. That is going to support our thyroid. Now, a lot of women will go get blood work done, and they are waiting for their doctors to give them just this crazy discovery or say, okay, your blood work says this, all you need to do now to lose weight is eat this. 99% of the time, your blood work is not gonna help you lose weight unless you have something wrong with your thyroid, which I feel like is really rare. It happens probably in my coaching program with all my clients, probably about once every 6 months, where someone will struggle with losing weight, they go finally get blood work done and they get tested and they find they have antibody for Hashimoto's or hypothyroidism. But iodine is something that you can utilize to support your thyroid health. And that's because iodine helps make our thyroid hormones T3 and T4. And low thyroid function can mimic or worsen menopause symptoms, and it makes weight loss just totally impossible. RDA for adult women is around 150 micrograms per day. Just make sure that you're not getting too much, especially if you have Hashis. You don't want to overload on your iodine. It can be harmful. The top iodine sources are seaweed sources and also iodized salt. Next up is selenium. If you are a plant-proof Simon Hill fangirl like myself, I have stalked him 2 times in person. Simon, I know you're not watching this, but Simon, if you're watching this, love you. 3rd time's a charm, let's go. Just kidding. But selenium also helps for our thyroid health. It protects our thyroid gland from oxidative stress. Moving right along to vitamin D. Vitamin D is actually the only supplement that is recommended to take by the Menopause Society. And that's because vitamin D not only has such a crucial role in our bone health, but it also has a crucial role in mood and brain function. I've seen anecdotally inside the virtual practice that women who are vitamin D deficient, as soon as they start taking vitamin D, they feel like themselves again. Next 2 are my favorite, especially if you have hot flashes, and that's omega-3 and vitamin E. Those are powerful anti-inflammatory agents. You can get them from your food. So omega-3, you're going to want to get around 1,000 per day. Hair in my mouth. Whoa. And can't take myself seriously. And all you really need to do for that is take 2 tablespoons of hemp, chia, flax, or walnuts. And when we're talking about omega-3s, remember omega-3s are helpful because we are getting the ALA from there. Things like omega-6s, so for example, you have to look at the omega-3 to omega-6 ratio. The almonds have like a 9-to-1 ratio, which they're very inflammatory. Peanut butter is inflammatory, but I'm not saying not to have those things, but omega-3s are helpful. So if someone's coming after you talking about linoleic acid, seed oils, omega-3s, whatever. I have a crick in my leg. Woohoo! Omega-3. You guys, as I'm going through this video, it's getting more and more just chit-chatty. I can't talk about supplements, vitamins without B12. Very important, not just for vegans, since bacteria produces it in the soil and the quality of minerals in our soil is just trash right now in recent years. Anyone can be deficient in it, and this is really good supplement, not just for vegans, but for anyone. So there you have it, your 11 different menopause vitamins. The sad truth is that there are absolutely no resources for how to eat vegan in menopause. I actually searched the Menopause Journal. Out of over 5,000 articles, only 7 came back about vegan diet. And what's even more dangerous, in my opinion, is that experts and doctors don't really understand the body composition changes that happen when women start to lose estrogen. That's why they're still preaching the same rhetoric of just eat as much as you want as long as it's whole food plant-based, which you and I both know and my clients know that it doesn't work anymore now in menopause, which leaves you feeling so frustrated because you're eating so healthy, you're paying so much attention to what you're eating, yet your body doesn't reflect that until you watch this video. If you found value from this video, then I invite you to click the link in the description to go to my menopause course over on School. In that course, I talk in more detail how to set up your whole food plant-based vegan diet for menopause and a lot on the science and reducing natural symptoms. I think it'll be a really great resource for you to just get a pen and paper, take matters into your own hands, and start seeing results. Because like I said in the beginning of the video, if you're trying to lose weight, eating whole food plant-based is going to take you a really long time, and you're going to be very frustrated. Once you have my structure, the actual guide of eating vegan for menopause, you're going to be losing weight every single week. My clients on average can lose around 1 pound per week and 2 pounds plus per week if they have more than 50 pounds to lose. So click the link in the description, head on over to the Menopause Blueprint. I will see you in there. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel to get the latest, greatest, most amazing whole food plant-based tips for menopause. I'll see you guys later. Bye.